powered by Broadnetconcepts.
Sharing his 19 years experience in 1 hour. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so quickly we'll run into the next speaker. He has worked with the media unit of a Telco before venturing into filmmaking. A lot of us would not know, but the MCs will know that the next speaker is a veteran master of ceremony. He filled the void in wedding filmmaking, a pro cinematic wedding film curator, an award-winning wedding cinematographer. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a retired master of ceremony, Lanre ESHO. Please applaud him as he comes.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I hope we're not hungry yet, because this is 1. I was supposed to speak by 11, and it's even more difficult speaking after my Egbo, but I'll try. I'll try. Can someone encourage me? I'll try. Thank you. All right. So, do we have audio for this video, quickly? If you can just start it from the beginning. And do we have audio?
Said on that list, by the way, and I'll say it to you guys just before I leave, because I know he's going to kill me if I do.
Pause. Start it from the beginning and pause it.
I had arrived at the...
All right, can you just pause it, and I'll tell you when to start. All right. A quick introduction, and after I make a couple of introduction about myself and what I do, we'll play a video. Since what I do is filmmaking, cinematography, wedding cinematography. My name is Lanre ESHO. I worked in a telecom company for about 12 years, and at some point, like the MC said, I used to be an MC. I still do it once in a while when the money is right. And I dabbled into filmmaking. I dabbled into it. I never thought I was going to be doing this full time. I was a salary earner in MTN, apparently. And I wanted a side hustle to augment my salary. I wanted something I could do over the weekend that, you know, put a 100K, low wally, you know, I will be able to, you know, just pad my salary then. And in the space of about 2 years, I realized that I got to a point where I was making my salary in 1 gig. You know, and it was just about that time that I decided to resign. My wife was the last person to agree to let me resign. I told my dad, he was like, run with it. I told everyone. And you know, women, they like security. She didn't want a situation where I would resign from a paying job to a job that, you know, you were living based on favors. Favor of God that someone will call you from nowhere. So, but eventually I resigned, and it's been one of the best decisions of my life. I have been privileged to shoot weddings far and near. My Egbon said something earlier. I call him Egbon, so anytime I say Egbon, know that I'm referring to Photonimi. He said something about you having your link to the world, which is your phone. And I'll tell you a story of how I got my first international gig. It was through a DM. Someone random just sent me a DM. Hi, my name is so person. can you come to the US to shoot a wedding? And I said, yes. And the next question she asked me was, do I have a visa? Fortunately, I had one then. And I said, yes. He said, okay, this is my phone number. Let's take it to WhatsApp. Long story short, a couple of months later, I was in New York shooting a wedding in a castle. If you can Google Ohika Castle, just go to your phone right now and Google Ohika Castle. O-H-E-K-A Castle. It is a beautiful place to film a wedding. In fact, when they told me where I was going to shoot the wedding, I tried to hide my excitement because of where I was going to. And for the first time in my career, I believed, because I've always aspired that one day I was going to take this craft all over the world. And when it happened, I was excited. I realized that, when I started, I didn't know that this will take me all around the world. I'd never thought about it. Like I told you earlier, I started this to augment my salary. But when I put in all my effort into it and I ensured that I was the best at what I was doing, I realized that people could afford to fly me to, wherever they wanted me to be, to come and cover their weddings. I remember about 6-7 years ago when I started shooting weddings, there was a particular wedding that they paid the photographer 1.2 million naira. And they paid me 120,000 as the video guy. I can confidently tell you now that there have been weddings that I was paid twice the amount they paid a photographer. It's a process, and it has been a process for about 7 years. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is not to throw figures or to tell you how my life has been beautiful, where I've been to and all of that. But it's just to tell you that it is very, very possible. You can dream, you can be crafty, and you can go to places. Let me ask you a question. In the last, it still happens till now. And this was something that I used to do even as an MC. You chase away the photographers and the videographers. Please move back, like they are second-class citizens in an event, right? It still happens, right? Yeah, like move back, move back. And when I was transitioning from being an MC to a videographer, this was someone that was going from suit, clean, bow tie, emceeing an event, to someone lying on the floor with a camera. But guess what? People now celebrate photographers, right? People now celebrate wedding cinematographers very, very well. I've had situations where if we have like 5 photographers, or one of those kind of weddings that you have 3 photographers, 4 videographers and all of that, and the bride will single me out, please allow Lanre to do what he wants to do. I paid him a lot of money. They will please, I beg, allow Lanre, are you good? Yes, fine, fantastic. So what I'm trying to say is this, and in the course of what we'll be sharing today, don't worry, I'm going to be showing one of my beautiful work. Trust me, we've done terrible ones in the past, but we've grown over the years. Would you like to see something nice? I hope so. All right, let's play this. Because of time, we'll just do about 2 minutes.
Faye comes to Lagos to visit her family and friends, and I suggested that we go out for dinner at the Now Sabor in VI.
Talk about, thank you. You liked what you watched? Beautiful, right? Now, there is something that captured your attention in this film, and I'll tell you, storytelling. By way of introduction, I came with my friend Sam, all the way from Lagos. Please, a big round of applause for him. Fantastic cinematographer. We shot this wedding together. And guess what happened while we were shooting the wedding? Immediately, the lady, the friend, said, "Here goes the story." And she began to narrate how they met. We looked at each other and we were like, that is the anchor point of this film. And she went on telling that story for about 5 to 10 minutes. And I made sure I was just cutting pieces of the story at every point in the film, because I know that you want to sustain, you want to create suspense, you're telling the story, you want to know how it ends, Abby? Yes. And not until the end of the film before she completed the whole story. What am I saying? The whole essence of cinematography, let's go to the slides. The whole essence of wedding cinematography is telling a story. Now, we all do the same thing. We all do pretty much the same thing. Okay, the topic I was supposed to talk about is building up a solid and valuable cinematography brand. And talking about weddings, all we do is cover the marriage between a man and a woman, right? At least for now in Nigeria. You know, a man and a woman. And the whole wedding process is the same. In fact, especially for our engagement ceremony. The family comes, the alaga says this, the alaga, Iduro and the alaga. You know, it's just the same thing. The guy comes, prostrates, Abi, the girl dances in and stuff. It's the same process. Same with white weddings. You come in, there's a dress up, they go to church, he says his vows, blah, 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 and that's it. Now, the challenge for you as a cinematography is, how do you create a story that is so the same? And how do you create a story that is unique to this couple? That is the whole essence of trying to do what we do. Now, I know we have a lot of photographers here. Don't be discouraged. But you trust the process. Trust that process. You will go through it. And you have to go through it. There is no fast track. You will go through that process. How fast you can go is how much you can consume. How much information you can learn. There was some guy that called me one day and said, "Bros, I want you to mentor me." And I mean, I get all those kind of DMs, requests on a daily basis. And I asked him something. I said, "Do you have a phone?" He said, "Yes." "What kind of phone?" He said, "iPhone 7. I said, "Beautiful." Say, do you normally subscribe for data?" He said, "Yes." I said, how much data per month?" He said, "Between 5 and 10 gig. I said, "Can you tell me the last thing you studied about your craft?" And he went mute. And I told him this. I said, "Okay, you want me to be your mentor, right? All right. This is how mentorship works, at least in my own definition. Mentorship is not, this is 1, then this is 2. Mentorship, in my own definition, is, I understand 1 to 8. Can you explain to me 9 and 10? Do you understand what I'm saying? You need to invest yourself. You need to study. You need to learn. It is when you now run into problems or, just someone to push you. That is mentorship in my own mind. So I told him, I said, "Okay, here goes your mentorship school. And it's going to end in a few seconds. Until you can prove to me that you understand what you're doing, then don't tell me to be a mentor. I'm not a teacher. You want me to be a mentor, right?" Yes. Mentorship is you understanding the process, but when you have issues, you pick from the brain of those who know or who are a bit advanced than you to solve your problems. It's as easy as that. So, we've talked about how many things now? Story. Second, emotions. Third, customer service. Fourth, creating your own style. Next slide. Quality versus money. This is the part that I know a lot of us need to improve on. I mean, the whole essence of this seminar is to ensure that we learn one or two things that can help us increase our craft and ultimately make more money. Am I lying? That's the whole idea. Abi? Is to make more money, right? All right. Now, I made mention earlier that when I started, I was charging 150,000, 200,000 to shoot a wedding. And my counterparts, photographers, were earning millions. It took me a while before I could tell a client, pay me ₦1 million for video. It took me a while to be able to tell a client, I will come to the US, but you have to pay me $7,000. And you still have to buy my flight and put me in a hotel. And if you're free, you need to come and pick me at the airport. You know? But it did not, I didn't get there in a day. This is one part that we need to critically understand. 2017, January, I literally stopped what I was doing and I was talking to myself. Prior to 2017, I was doing events. People knew me. I was collecting a lot of money, but small money. Yes. I was doing 3 events in a day, 4 events. I would be running from one place to the other. I had guys everywhere. And I told myself this. And this is a story, I mean, that I've shared with a lot of people. There is a space. There's like an 80% of a market. There is a 15% of another set of market. And there's a 5% of another market. The 80% is the Gbogbo market. Yes. Now, someone has to service that market, which is fine. There's a 15% of the market that they are just a little bit above the Gbogbo. And there's a 5% of clients that are premium. And I told myself, I want to chase the 5% market. That is all I wanted to do. It was a decision that I made in 2017. And I told myself, the only way I could do this is to improve on my quality. You know, if you eat 2 egusi soup, you can tell that one is richer than the other. They are both egusi, but you can tell that one is richer than the other. You can just tell that there is oporoko, there is pomo, there's, you know, they are both egusi soup, but one is richer. Trust me, that is exactly how this craft is. People might not know the camera you're shooting with. They might not know what lens you're shooting with, or flash, or the software you edited with, but they can tell the difference in the quality of your work. How God has done that, only God knows. But you can just tell that this picture is better than this one. And that is all I was after. That if a bride or a potential bride watches 10 YouTube videos or 10 Instagram videos and stumbles on mine, she will like, there's something different about the quality of work this guy does. So that was all I did. Quality, quality, quality. How did I do those? How did I achieve quality? I studied, I practiced, I invested in new equipment. I did everything, but I ensured that my quality went up. And in 2017, I increased my price 3 times in the space of 1 year. 3 times. And the reason for this is, and this is something I learned from one of these seminars I watched online, that you should not be booking more than 30% of your inquiries. If everybody who contacts you books you, then you are cheap. It's as simple as that. If everybody calls you and say, how much? 250, and they pay you, then that means you are shortchanging yourself. So currently now, I mean, in the last 1 week, I've gotten emails, I've gotten phone calls. In fact, as at this morning, while we're driving down, someone called and I gave them a price, you know, and they said they could not afford it. And I said, no problem. Because I feel at some point you need to measure the quality of your work against how much you're charging. Now, you also need to be careful not to overcharge for the quality of your work. So what I mean by that is you need to know the level of your work so that you are not charging someone 1 million. Meanwhile, you're at a 250,000 naira level. You need to be very careful. So even sometimes when you know that, oh, you're only on 350, you still leave it at 300 for a while. Then after a while, you push it again. But don't forget, the quality of your work must be consistent, must be above average, must be up there. This is the things that I did. As simple as this. It's a lot of work, but you have to do these things. Uncle has spoken about the spiritual side of things. Me, I'm telling you the very practical things that you need to do. You need to put in a lot of work. Nobody becomes a fantastic photographer by accident. You can snap 600 pictures, have one fluke picture that looks fine, that you can post on Instagram. When they now get to the body of your work, the rest is crap. You must be able to show out of 600 images at least, deliver 100 that is mouth-watering, but not deliver mediocrity and expect people to pay you top dollar. It will not happen. It will not happen. I hope I've spoken enough about quality versus money. You need to understand where your quality of your work stands and your pricing. A lot of us here wants to charge premium for what we do, but you need to work on your work. Like Uncle said, Egmont said, I'm in competition with myself. I'm not in competition with anybody. I watch what other people do. You understand? I mean, I see what they do, and I was like, this is fantastic. Guess what? If there's something there to learn from, I will learn. And I will implement it the next time. Because nobody invented any style. Nobody invented any style. Absolutely. We all learned it from somewhere. And we'll keep learning. And the day you can bring in something that is different, that nobody has seen before, people will jump at it. Amen? Amen? Next slide. Storytelling, we've talked about this extensively. Marketing and branding. Now, apologies, I took pictures of how I package my deliveries, but I couldn't come with them. I think I left the card at home. The way I package my deliveries is, let me describe how I package it. So it's a flash drive. It's a crystal flash drive that I imported from China. And my name is lasered inside the crystal. It comes in like a wristwatch case box. You know wristwatch cases, you know how they open up nicely? Yes. That is how I package my flash drives. I don't do DVDs anymore. Because, I mean, DVDs just mess up your work. So I don't bother to do DVDs anymore. I deliver strictly flash drives and online delivery. So I will send your film to you online, send you a password, and when I'm delivering the final product, it comes in a nice box, all customized in a nice bag. And a client, I did a burial recently in Ibadan that I did with Egmont recently. I'm sure he will remember the client right in Ibadan here. And when I delivered it to him, he called me, the son. He called me and said, "We've watched the video, beautiful, thank you so much. You did a fantastic job." I said, "Thank you, sir." He said, "Then your packaging is like me unwrapping a gift. It's like me opening," his exact word, he said it's like me opening an iPhone. That it was just layers before you get to the small flash, but it was just a beautiful experience. He said, "You know what? I need to give one to each of my siblings. How much will it cost?" And I told him each of those packages was 20,000 naira. So he said, "Okay, you know what? Can you send 6 to me and I'll pay you 100,000? I said, "No problem, sir." He transferred 100,000 to me, and I just told my guys, package 6 more and sent it to them. He called me when he received it, and he told me, "Thank you so much, received it. We will do business. I will come back for you." And I said, "Thank you, sir. I look forward to it." It's just like what Uncle said. Your packaging can leave an impression. Your personality can leave an impression. Whatever you do, don't leave a bad taste in the mouth of your client. Don't assume that they paid you 100% and do a shitty job. It will haunt you. People have this mentality that business, boy, everybody in your mark with me. No, it will haunt you. I've had to deal with clients that fought for me. That they fought. In fact, there was an experience I had. Someone called me, a former bride. He said, "Hello, Lanre, please send me your account number now." I was driving. I said, "I'm driving." He said, "Lanre, send your account number now." So I took my phone, sent her my account number, and he did, and I got an alert for a job, 50% deposit. She now called me back. She said, "The event planner said they should not use me. But I had an experience with you that I feel is beyond video making." And I told my bride, "This is the guy. You have no choice. Like, I'm going to not attend her wedding if she does not use Lanre." Those kind of things bring tears to me. And so these are the kind of impression that you need to. Okay, all right, fantastic. Next slide. Okay, so branding. You need to brand your products very well. You need to ensure that what you are giving to them at the end. Don't forget that these people have spent 10, 30, 40, 50 million naira on their wedding. Aramama Tawon. The only thing they have is their video and pictures. So if it doesn't come out well, they will pour the whole anger of the money they spent on you. That's the fact. They want more Hennessy, they will chop, they will groove, they will eat the food, they will do everything. The only thing they have is their photo and video. So if that comes to them and is not as good, it's a problem. It's a problem. How do I market? Social media. Social media. But most importantly, I wrote marketing there not because I really do a lot of marketing. A very chunk of my business come from returning customers and referrals. Just like Egmont mentioned earlier, I have families that have done 3 weddings. In fact, there's a family, Folawiyo family, And this is a family that has, different moms and, and stuff like that. But they will, like, if it's wedding or anything, call Lanre. No, don't stress yourself. Those kind of things are what makes me wake up in the morning and do what I do. All right, next slide. We've talked about this earlier, customer satisfaction. You need to create a lasting impression. You need to create a lasting impression. I was making an analogy earlier, and I was talking about the 80, 15, and 5% of the market. And in one of those, I tell you, I've learned a lot. In one of those webinars that I've watched, someone made an analogy. She said, Bentley, what comes to mind? What comes to mind when you hear Bentley? Class. Give me other words, please. Luxury, thank you. Yes? Affluence. Money. All right. This is what she said. She said, the 5% of the very luxurious people, money is not a factor to them. Class is a factor to them. Exclusivity is a factor to them. As a matter of fact, two people who are riding Rolls Royce, one will say, my own has fridge, my own has ATM. It is about class for these people. So when you want to sell yourself, it's a decision only you and you can make. Do you want to service the 80% of the Gbogbo, which is fine. There's a lot of work there. You can do 10 weddings in 1 month, and they will pay you 150 to 200K. It is possible. Or do you want to do the mid-class, which is about 15 to 20% thereabout, of people who can give you 4, 5, 600K with, a bit of touch of class in it, but they are just fine with your work. And you can do 3 or 4 in a month. Or do you want to cater to the 5% that can pay you 1.5 million?
Good day, everyone.
Your name first.
My name is Eniola Diaga. I want to ask this question. You said something about 80% market, 15% and 5% market. Aside of being a journalist, as in working with a media house, I'm also into bridal work as my own personal business. But the person that taught me said, you must have every customer size, that you don't allow any customer to go from you. Now, maybe you are doing a hand fan for 10,000 naira, and a client says, or a bride says, is going to pay like 4,000 naira. You must not allow such bride to go, that you can still get her own size for her. Are you getting it? But, why comparing the 10,000 naira hand fan or bouquet with 3,000 naira bouquet or hand fan? I believe that will be different. But now you're talking about the quality. Does it mean that when you find yourself in that situation, does it mean that you couldn't produce the quality that your clients deserve at that moment? And besides, in that situation also, and comparing it with the way you are now, will you allow any customer to just go like that in the name of I'm protecting my integrity and the quality? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Let's take the two at the same time. All right.
Good day, everyone. My name is Adeyemo Olaju. Sorry, please permit me to direct my question to Photo Nini. I want to ask the other time, but you didn't let me ask. Okay. Yes, it's a personal issue. It's a personal. No problem. It's a the problem I have with photography is actually my size and my height. Like, sincerely, it's funny, but yeah, I remember getting to people chat me on WhatsApp or Facebook that with my works that can you shoot my wedding for us? So when I get there, at times they be like, "Are you the one or your boss sent you?" So I feel embarrassed, I would just be like, I'm the one. Are you sure you are the one? So I have issue with that. That's number one. Number two is, growing as a guy that developed himself as Daddy has said, no weapon, nothing. I use all these photographers that use speed lights. So and when I see people like this, my brother, big with gadgets, I feel intimidated. At times I will just be shaking while shooting, like see all this. So all these issues, sir. Please, what can you?
I think Uncle should. Okay, all right then. Now, concerning the first question about you catering to all customers, sincerely, can you cater to everybody? It's not possible. Remember, I made an example. I said Bentley, right? Bentley is a company. Rolls-Royce is a company. Is any of their cars less than $100,000? No. But guess what? They produce a few of it for a few people, and that is their business structure. Now, I also mentioned something earlier. I said if your business structure is for you to attend to the 80% of people, the 15, the 5%, which is almost impossible, is fine. But personally, this is what I was set out to do, to attend to the 5% and deliver quality to them. At this stage of my career, I don't even want to do 10 events. I don't. I actually don't. My goal is to do one every month, if possible. 1 or 2 events, and I'm fine. If 2 people can give me the money I need for that, for just that month, I am good. I don't. See, let me tell you this, and I'm sure it has happened to a lot of us. When you first started, this happened to me. When I first started and I was doing gigs for 150, 200K and all of that, and there was one January that I literally had 30 undelivered events. And I looked at my account. There was really nothing so much to show for almost 30 events from like October, November, December. And I was struggling. I was calling editors to help me edit. It was messy. I don't see myself going back to that, part. I told you also, I said I made a decision in 2017 that this is how I want to run this business now. Do less work, make more money. Less work, more money. And the only way to achieve that is quality. You cannot fault it. People will see it and they will go for it. Whatever the amount, they will pay for it. It's as simple as that. So you need to choose your market rightly. That is a personal decision for you to make if you want to attend to the 80% or the 15 or the 5.
Thank you very much. There's a popular principle in design. It's called less is more. Sometimes when you do so much, you get so little. Uncle, I would like you to attend to this guy's question. It's a personal question. It touches mind. Yes. It comes from the downside part of the intention. Amen.
Okay. When he asked that question, I was imagining whether he was the one that spoke with me about 2 months ago. Because I got a call, and this was exactly the question. And I think my answer to him was, it's excellence that describes what you do, not your personal physical appearance. If you have issues with that, that means you have not impressed them with what they saw. If you have impressed them with what they saw, what's their business with your height? Nothing. All right? You must be confident enough to represent your brand. Anything that is excellent, you will swallow it. Sometimes you may be insulted, you will walk away, and they will call you back to apologize. Are you with me, or you are disagreeing? Where's the guy? Are you with me, sir? So, one major matter, they asked me one that it's important too. You don't want to be educated, you want to work for the educated elite. Or more, you will try. And I'm sorry if he hurt someone. You must educate your mind to the extent that you can relate with the elite. And it doesn't matter how you achieve that if you thought age is not on your side. You cannot want to charge what Lanre is charging and you want to display mediocrity. It will not work. Excellence is what you should embrace, swallow it, and make it your everyday goal. So I put it to you, sir. Do not be little in your own eyes, because that is where the problem is from. You have to work on yourself first, so that when you step out, they are not seeing you, they are seeing what you stand for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was going to ask Bafonshaw to measure his height with the young man, but we will get to that. Please be upstanding, Bafonshaw. A round of applause for him, please. Kotonko. All right, sir.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I want to appreciate one brother. He came from Benin. No. Benin. Sorry, where are you? Come. One brother came from Enugu, and that was his first time in Ibadan. He's still around. We appreciate him yesterday. So that this also came from Benin, and this is his first time in Ibadan. I want to help me take a picture with him. And he's a photographer. Tomorrow we have gift for you, courtesy Canon Africa tomorrow. Tomorrow is Canon Masterclass, and it's rated for 2 hours, 10 to 12. Please don't miss it.
Powered by BroadNetconcepts.